So, based on the thumbnail of this here in video, Space Force I thought was going to be a serious thing, and it says on the Netflix description, Steve Carell, welcome to Space Force, from the crew that brought you The Office. Space Force is coming soon to Netflix. That right there says to me that this is going to be more of a goofy thing, potentially. But in either case, I like Steve Carell so much, as many of you do. It's probably why you clicked on this video to begin with. My initial interest in this beyond Steve Carell was actually space-related stuff, because I'm big into space, yo. I effing love science. Hello, welcome folks. I'm Jaby Koay, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
Hi there.
And we're gonna look at Netflix's Space Force official teaser trailer. Here we go.
I want to welcome our newest four-star general, Mark Naird, formerly number 2 at the Air Force.
Thank you. It has always been my dream to command a service branch.
Our nation's internet runs through our vulnerable space satellites. POTUS wants complete space dominance. To that end, the president is creating a new branch, Space Force, which Mark will run.
What? This is a great adventure we are embarking on today. There will be setbacks, but greatness was never won without sacrifice.
Oh, he is blowing it just like you thought. Yeah, it is a complete shit show. Oh, my dry cleaner. Yeah, they lost my
Be a zone of wonder, not of conflict and death.
As a scientist, you have a loyalty to reason. Makes you a little untrustworthy.
Oh Lord.
How much was that prototype? 4 million? Middle schools. Cost as much as 4 new middle schools. No, keep up.
Your attitude seems to
No,
be
keep
give
up.
us money and don't look while we militarize space.
You are running. Keep up. Hey, Mom, what are you doing?
Got suspended. Gave her teacher the finger. His blood pressure is spiking.
Brad, no interruptions for 5 minutes. Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, I wanna take you. Bermuda, Bahama, pretty mama. Bodies in the sand. Tropical drinks melting in your hand. We'll be falling in love to the rhythm of a steel drum band. Down.
That's a interesting comical look at how all this stuff happens in the government. I mean, you from the outside looking in, all of it seems very like covert and smart and all well thought through, and you know, with the highest intelligence in the world working on this stuff. And then you see this kind of stuff, you're like, oh, they're human just like we are.
They're just trying to bungle their way through this whole thing.
Yeah.
No, it looks like a lot of fun, and like I think the cast is super strong. You've got so many like comedy greats in there. Like I like Jane Lynch. You've got John Malkovich. Lisa Kudrow. What's that guy's name again? But I liked him in Silicon Valley because he's super funny, and in Crazy Rich Asians, Jimmy O Yang. There we go. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And then of course you've got Steve Carell at the helm, and I think he's hilarious. I'm already having a good old laugh just in the teaser trailer alone. I can't believe that's a teaser as well, because it's like nearly 3 minutes long.
It's quite long for a teaser, but I mean, Netflix is always balls to the wall with it, isn't it?
It's like, we're teasing you, but actually it's like a trailer. And it's coming out at the end of May. So, you know, you got that to look forward to.
You got John Malkovich in here, who, all the faces you saw just in that round table moment alone was like, oh my God, like they got a nice little cast here of people. It's gonna make this really fun. John Malkovich just lends a certain, not just fun and flair to it, but authenticity, you know? Because I mean, he's one of the best actors in Hollywood of all time, and whatever. My favorite role of him was in Rounders, where he played a Russian gambler. He's got an Oreo obsession. That's not a joke. One of the things I was reminded about when I was watching this is how Steve Carell approaches things, because I remember him being asked about The Office, and there's this assumption that there's just a lot of improvisation going on, making up jokes on the fly constantly, and he was like, no, there's a lot of good writing, and we just follow the script. I was like, wow. Steve Carell, while he's really funny and probably really good at improv, it seems like a lot of the humor that he does is really, really based on the writing.
Right.
And he's just following that truthfully. He's giving as much of a serious performance based on what's required of that role, and that's what's funny.
Well, you can see that even at the end when he's singing the song. The thing about him is he's so captivating in everything that he does because he's committed 100%. So he's doing this thing as his character. It's dead serious. Like, he's just trying to center himself. It just turns out that in order to do that, he has to sing this song, which in that situation is super absurd.
Right.
That's what makes it work, because it's serious, but to us, it's just so hilarious. And the thing that got me about that was that the window is so wide. Like, there's so many windows, and he's just making his way across the whole thing, and I was just dying.
Right. Well, there are other films where he's actually played very serious roles that I'm very interested in checking out, and it's like on my Netflix queue, and I want to watch those movies. I'm going to spend the time. But I think that what's cool about this is it's that halfway point, because there's this sense of it being really, really goofy, like The Office, at the front. But I feel like as the show goes on, you're going to see that it rides that line between very serious and very comedic. And it's only comedic because of the absurd situation, of the absurd responses that these people have. But it's not absurd to the point where it's like, that seems too far-fetched to even exist in reality.
Yeah.
It seems like maybe it's pushing the line a little bit, and they're taking a bit of artistic licensing. I don't even know how much of this is actually based on actual history. Obviously, the moment when he goes, how much was that? And he goes, 4, and he's 4 schools. Like, obviously, that's not, I'm pretty sure that was not said. I'm pretty sure that's like a joke. It's all in jest, you know, especially when you have that actor whose name I can't remember from The Daily Show in there. He was the one who was like trying to keep up with Steve Carell.
Yeah, that was funny too.
Yeah.
There were just so many great funny moments in here, but I don't think that is gonna be all the funny moments. In that regard, it's a great teaser because I'm sold. I'm actually excited about this.
What's also neat is that it's saying from the crew that brought you The Office, and I wonder to what extent that actually means. I was reading up, or watching a video rather, on Steve Carell's departure from The Office and where all that came from. For those of you that haven't seen that video, which I can't remember what it is, if I figure it out by the time we're done editing this, I'll link the source in the description below. But according to this video, which might have been Looper or something like that, it was saying that Steve Carell was on his 6th season, I think, or something like that. And what had happened was there was some talk or hubbub in the news about him not coming back for another year. He was like, no, that's not true. But he noticed that the executives who basically controlled The Office weren't saying anything. They were just cool about it. Like, there was literally no dialogue, no offers, no like, hey, let's have you stay. And he goes, oh, well, they don't care if I leave. Well, I guess I'll just go do movies now. And he bounced from The Office because of that, which was like, it was really special to him because of the people that he worked with and whatnot. But it seemed like it just didn't matter to the higher ups whether or not he stayed. And I think there might have been something related to a turnover in who was in control in the studio. And so he bounced, and then like The Office went for another year, I think, and then stopped because it's like, how could you? The notion that it's the same crew is pretty cool. I had the good fortune of working with one of the directors of The Office. Like he's directed many episodes on a Chevy commercial, and they move fast with like how they decide on things. Like that director, whose name I can't remember right now, he just throws things at you. To like, okay, say this. And it's all very serious, but this final product is funny.
Right.
You know? It's fascinating how comedy works. I sound so stupid and noobish when I say that, but it's the truth. Like, if you go and listen to Conan O'Brien talking about making The Simpsons, as opposed to laughing hysterically as they make these jokes, one writer will give another writer a joke and they'll go, yeah, that's hilarious. Okay. It's kind of boring to watch, but you see the end result. I'm excited to learn what that means as far as like The Office is concerned. Like, who else are they gonna, will they bring back talent from The Office as well?
Right.
That would be pretty cool. But I mean, a lot of them have gone on to do bigger and better things.
Yep.
You know, like The Silent Place. What's it called?
The Silent Place.
Is that what it's called?
No.
Silent World? No. Shut Up World? Don't Make a Fucking Sound? My name is John Krasinski and I can speak. What is it called?
A
Quiet Place. Yeah. Shut your mouth. Why are you playing with that rocket? That one.
That one.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have a movie. Yeah. You'd have just put down the goddamn rocket.
The world where we make babies even though we shouldn't. Because there's monsters outside.
Isn't that just called real life?
Anyway, it creates a sense of urgency. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Be sure to check out ACHARA KIRK on the social media, as well as the Jebs if you feel like doing that. Subscribe, please, if you haven't, and hit the Jennifer Sun bell icon, all notifications, because that is, does that really need explaining? I'm Jaby Koay. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.